The World Car of the Year finalists have been announced. Some of them are electric cars, some of them are not. I'm going to tell you guys which one I think will win, or at least which one I think should win World Car of the Year. Hello my friends, welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Let's get straight to it here, guys. I think this list is quite interesting. Now, to be fair, to give you some context here, World Car of the Year often ends up being a complete dud. I mean, the World Car of the Year a few years back was the Jaguar, the electric Jaguar I-Pace, and it turned out to be a terrible vehicle. If you want to argue against that, well, you can based on emotion, but based on logic, you can't. It's a complete disaster. So many of them have burned to the ground. Unfortunately, the truth is EVs very rarely have fires in comparison to internal combustion engine vehicles, but the I-Pace, it's not been the case at all. In fact, I believe about 40 of them have set themselves on fire. They've been recalled many, many times, and I'm not talking Tesla recalls over-the-air updates. I'm talking major recalls here. Very few of them selling. They're more than $100,000 on average. That's Australian prices, US dollars, just under $100,000. They've never been updated. Anyway, go on. That one World Car of the Year, and it was a bit of a joke, in my opinion. This year, well, there's some actually very good electric cars here. That won't be a joke. I can assure you of that without any qualification whatsoever. Now, the world finalists for World Car of the Year 2024 have been narrowed down to 10 vehicles. You have the Volvo EX30. Now, this is actually a really good EV that's affordable, unlike the Jaguar electric car, and it's going to be sold in many, many countries worldwide. Very much worth having a look at the Volvo EX30. You've got the Volkswagen ID.7, not one to write home about in my opinion. I think it's got to be a lot of interest for that. You've got the Toyota Prius, which is not bad for a hybrid, I've got to say. Can't believe I just said that. Anyway, you've got the Subaru Crosstrek, no thanks. The Mazda CX-90, irrelevant. Then you've got the Hyundai Santa Fe, the Hyundai Kona and the Kona Electric, the Ford Bronco, and this leaves us with a couple of impressive vehicles left, the BYD Seal and the Kia EV9. Now, I personally have a winner here. I've got probably two winners, in fact, and not what you'd think they'd be. Anyway, to be eligible, at least 10,000 vehicles. Examples of each vehicle must be produced annually, so you can't have a supercar, for example. They don't make the list because they don't make full production. 10,000 has to be the minimum number. They must be on sale in at least two major markets or in at least two separate continents between the 1st of January 2023 and the 30th of March 2024. Now, I personally think the Tesla Model 3 Highland should have qualified. I don't know why it didn't. I'm not saying it should have won, although maybe some people think it should have, that's for sure. But it certainly should have been in this list, and I don't understand why it wasn't. I've tried to research it. I can't figure out why it wasn't. Anyway, among the finalists, there's 4 models which are exclusively EVs, one that's ICE and EV, the Kona. There's one Toyota hybrid, and there's 4 models that are exclusively combustion engine vehicles. I don't think they should even be in this list. I think if you're just going to produce an internal combustion engine vehicle, which is really not that much different to any other internal combustion engine vehicle, Mazda CX-90, why is that even in the list? That's absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. A Subaru Crosstrek, it's really an irrelevant vehicle. The Hyundai Santa Fe, irrelevant as well. Anyway, I think those cars, I don't understand why they're in the list, and I think it's highly unlikely that any of those will win. EVs are pretty much winning this list for the last few years. For example, last year you had Hyundai's Ioniq 5, or that one year before that actually, and then you've got the Kia EV6 last year. So who missed out? BYD Atto 3 missed out, the Chevrolet Trax missed out, the Citroen C3 Aircross, the Fisker Ocean, the GMW Haval H6, the Lexus LBX, the MG1, the Mitsubishi Outlander, the Neo ET5. I think the Neo ET5 should have been in this list, but I guess they don't sell many of them outside of China, so fair enough. But you can buy them in Europe, though. Does qualify. I like the Neo ET5. You got the Peugeot 408, the Series 5, the Smart number 3, and the Xpeng G7. The G7's, it's all right, not bad. but the Xpeng G6, much better car. That might actually qualify for this list next year. Now, strangely, the Zeekr X wasn't in this list. That might be because it just only just gone on sale. However, it was nominated for World Car Design of the Year. You got the Ferrari Purosangue, the Ford Bronco, the Toyota Prius, Volvo EX30, and the Zeekr X, which got nominated for Design of the Year. Anyhow, I don't think anyone cares about that. Let's get back to the actual EVs here that matter in this list. Okay, BYD Seal. Will that win? No, it won't win. Why? Well, BYD is perceived to be a Chinese car company. It's not really likely they're going to win based on that metric alone. I'd say that pretty much disqualifies them. And to be fair, the BYD Seal is great. It's a very good car. And if you're in Australia, then I would say it should win. But this is not an Australian test, guys. This is based on the price of the BYD Seal in Europe, and it's much more expensive in Europe. In fact, it's about 40% more expensive. Based on the price, therefore, of the Seal in Europe, I think that disqualifies it. It's more expensive than the Tesla Model 3. I just don't understand that, to be honest. I don't think that makes sense. BYD vehicles are not selling that well in Europe, and that's one of the reasons. They're a bit too expensive. They're selling well in Europe and Australia, Israel, because they're priced fairly in those countries. Now, that leaves us with the Volvo EX30, and in my opinion, the other great car, which is the Kia EV9. I think either of those could win. I'd be happy with either of those winning. And of course, the Volvo, well, technically owned by Geely, therefore it's technically Chinese, not Swedish. They're perceived as being a Swedish car company. Kia, South Korea, there's no issues there with South Korea. I think one of those will win. Most likely, in my opinion, the Volvo EX30, though I do like the Kia EV9 as well. What are your thoughts, guys? Let me know in the comments. Which car would you give it to? Which of these lists would you give it, of these vehicles would you give it to? I actually still think the Tesla Model 3 Highland might maybe be the best car this year based on the price worldwide. I'm not saying the price in any specific country, but it's priced really well across lots of different countries. It's actually priced similarly to the Volvo EX30. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.